I've been thinking recently about what it means to be embodied. We hear the word embodied um, a lot about practice, and yeah, maybe just take a moment and reflect on when you hear that word or when you use that word embodied. Like my practice has become more embodied, or I would like my practice to be more embodied. Um, Maybe think about what that means to you. What what's the what does that evoke for you experientially in your own experience? So I'm not asking to start a conversation, but just to reflect for a moment. And maybe there's some idea or some association, but there also might be some not knowing, or some vagueness, or some sense of uncertainty about what that actually does mean and what people mean when they use that word to express a quality of practice. So just maybe to enter into a kind of an inquiry as we begin our practice, um, as to how to uh, how to discover and explore this quality of embodiment. And I'll just say a couple of things, and then after the practice, maybe we can talk about it. And if something came up for you, we can reflect on that. Um, so, yeah, so please be sure that you have your mic turned off, because it is recording, and I forgot to pause it, so I'll have to I'll take off the first part of when we're all saying hi to each other, because I know that there could be a preference not to be on a recorded video. Um, so I'm trying to be careful not to record anyone other than myself speaking. And when your mic is unmuted, it might if there's some subtle noise in the background, it might the camera might pick up your face. So embodiment, um, a quality of presence, awareness in the body. So in the body, um, in a sense of listening, listening, witnessing, um, attunement within the body, which isn't limited by the body. So we could we could make the mistake of believing that embodiment would necessarily mean identification with the body, but it doesn't mean identifying with the body um, as a fixed and separate self. It it is a quality of attention, which is, or my what I mean, when I say it is, it's not all it is, but there's a quality of attention which brings awareness into connection in the body, and is in a kind of a conversation with the body, open. There's a radical openness to whatever the body is revealing, and that openness doesn't separate us from the world around us. So it's not, because when we're not awake, when we're somehow caught up in it could be thoughts or emotions or something that draws us into a kind of an inner spiraling spinning of feeling caught, feeling pinned to something as an identity, as a self-construction. And when we get lost in that, we can lose our sense of connection, of openness to life, the life of which we are a part. So exploring through the breath, through sensation, through sound, which is a sensation, through presence, this quality of being which is embodied. So I'd like to lead us into meditation. So and then I'll guide a little bit around this theme, and then we'll have some time to reflect together. So please take a posture which is easeful and also conducive to alertness, conducive to being awake. And you can not worry about your relation to the camera. You can just turn away from the computer, or however you wish to configure yourself. So as we begin our practice, we can just begin by feeling the support of the earth. The way in which the earth gives support to the body. In a very immediate and felt way. That sense of the weight of the body pressing against the earth, and the earth presses back. And knowing we can trust that. We can allow gravity to keep us connected. And at the same time, there's an energy, an upward energy through the spine. Or if you're lying down, the spine can still be energized. There's a strength in the back. Which is an expression of commitment, aliveness, energy. And we can renew that during our sitting. And that awareness of that energetic back, that energetic axis of the spine can be a kind of a dashboard gauge for us to notice if the mind is fully present or the mind has drifted, attention has drifted. And as an expression of our connection to life, I invite you to bring an intention as we begin this practice, that the freedom, the liberation that we seek and that we experience is also for the benefit of others. That we will bring our awakening into all the actions of body, speech, and mind, and that it will be for the happiness and well-being and liberation of all. And appreciating that in making that commitment, we're also the recipients, the beneficiaries of many, many, many who have come before us, who have made that commitment, that their lives might be of benefit to others, and that we're in that lineage. And by receiving that and offering that, extending that to others, we're continuing that lineage, not only from our ancestors, but to our descendants. Even if we're not biologically parents, still we're caregivers, we're stewards, we're all influencers in this world, in big and small ways. And as you contemplate those intentions, as you recognize that you've received the commitment, the vows, the dedication of those who have come before, and you offer that dedication to those who are coming after us. Bring your awareness into the body and notice what the energy is around that. Notice in the heart, notice in the core of the body, notice throughout the body. What's the quality of energy? how is that experienced and received and and lived in the body? That beautiful intention. So feel the body breathing. You don't need to necessarily narrow your your attention to feeling the breath in a very precise and focused way. You can, if that's what you feel called to do, if that's what's supportive to you. But you can also feel the breath in a more general, whole body way in various parts of the body. And it can also be kind of a peripheral or background focus, a secondary focus, allowing the whole body to be the primary focus. A sense of this whole body. And to the extent to which you are bringing your capacity to image into your experience, allow the image of the body as well as the felt sense of the body to be one which has a kind of a soft perimeter, not a hard edge, sharply defined boundary, but a boundary which is permeable, which is expanding, which breathes not only through the nostrils but through the whole surface of the body, which exchanges energy with the world around it. So I invite you to explore in the body the quality of stillness. There may be a sense of energy flowing. There may be um, a noticing of movements, subtle movements, or perhaps more obvious movements. And this energetic sense of dynamic movement in the body is held within, or appears, manifests within a deeper presence of stillness. Just as the stars shine in the stillness of space, and planets move through the stillness of space. So I invite you to discover that quality of stillness, which is like space. And become aware of the space internally and externally. That space which is all around us as well as within us. And we know from science that even though the body feels solid, it is mostly space. It's space and energy. And even though there are objects in the room around us, but even those objects which inhabit the space are themselves mostly space. Space and energy. If the mind gets caught up or wanders away, let the breath be like a drumbeat calling you back to be present in this moment, to be present within this living awareness, this embodied awareness that you are. Thoughts may come and go, and that's okay. Don't judge yourself. Just don't allow yourself to get hooked. And if you do, just let go. When mindfulness shines a light on the spiraling of thought and feelings, a sense of being at home within this embodied awareness. A sense of being at home, and yet at the same time, it's not me or mine. It's not a thing. It's not something static. It's not something separate. I invite you now to just take in, to consider the preciousness of this human body. The teaching on the precious human body, precious human birth, is a very important foundation teaching in Tibetan Buddhism. Considering the blessings to have a body which is able to be aware, to sit, to lie down, to bring attention inward, to open attention to life, to quiet the mind enough to listen and discover inner experience. There can be a quality of joy, gratitude an opening of the heart as we consider this truth. And sometimes it also can come up, judgments that we have about the body, a body that that's been reflected back to us in society as somehow being not enough or wrong. That distortion that we may have internalized. That somehow there's something wrong with the way our body presents. The color, the shape, the size, the way that we experience a sense of gendering of the body. And so we bring this more absolute, open quality of attention to the particular, loving, receiving, accepting this body in which life manifests in us and through us. Loving this body, grateful for this body, valuing this body. I invite you to imagine that this quality of love and gratitude for the body can be experienced within you as a kind of a light. It can be whatever color you imagine, or many colors, just filling the body. Noticing where that light feels or appears to be most intense, where there's more a sense of shadow, or the light being in some way obstructed, and not judging that in any way, but just bringing an exploratory quality into the body to discover how that light of love and appreciation and gratitude manifests within the body. And then moving through that permeable sense of the outline of the body into the life around us. Just in widening circles to the front, to the right, to the back, to the left, above and below, and within, like a wellspring. knowing that this quality of spaciousness, light, acceptance, this is medicine. This is the healing that we need. This is the healing that the world needs.